Brenda J. Lilly here with the Bridge Artistic Network. I wanted to put out a small disclaimer before we launch into today's video. I am not a licensed therapist. I am just a fellow creative artist who hopes to encourage, engage, and hopefully empower other creative artists to go out and live their art dream. Okay, here we go into today's video. I hope you enjoy it. Well, good Monday morning, everybody. Brenda J. Lilly here with the Bridge Artistic Network. And it is Monday, April 6th, 2026. The beginning of April has come. It is time for spring, and I am so excited about that. I hope you like this video. If you do, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That helps our algorithm. But most importantly, share this with everyone you know and love so that we can continue to become who we were created to be. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the flip side. Well, good Monday morning, everybody. Brenda J. Lilly here this Monday morning after Easter Sunday. I hope you all had a wonderful time and a blessed weekend. I know I did. So, I've got my big old cup of coffee. I'm ready to rock and roll. I hope you are too. Yesterday, I posted on the Bridge Artistic Network's Facebook page our Soul Care Sunday post, and it was a quote. I unpacked a part of a quote by David Viscott. And the quote was, "The purpose of life is to discover your gift. The meaning of life is to give your gift away." So I unpacked the first half of that quote. Now, David Viscott, just as a little side note, was a psychiatrist. He was educated at Brown University. He ended up having a radio show in LA in the 80s and early 90s, I think until 1993, right? And he was a psychiatrist on the radio, and he would give advice. He would do therapy on the radio, and his radio show was one of the inspirations for the television show Frasier, which is one of my all-time favorite TV shows, by the by. Anyway, that's a whole side note. I just find it interesting how art imitated life in that moment, right? Um, And I also find it interesting that this is the quote that is literally hanging on my office door right now. So anyway, I don't think the person who gave it to us knew that I loved Frasier so much, or that David Viscott was who he is, or was. Um, so the second part of the quote is what we're here about today. So the first part of the quote is, "The purpose of life is to discover your gift." Right? And we've talked a lot about that on this channel. Finding your purpose, finding and uncovering the gifts, your talents, your abilities, and working in those. I am a true believer that as you uncover and discover your gift, your provision for this life lies in working in those things. But so much of this world believes that we just have to do whatever our mama and daddies did. We need to toe the company line, and we need to go into the family business, whatever that is. But those of us who are artists know that generally our lives go in a little bit of a different direction. And our loved ones, the people who we grew with, they don't really understand our choices. And some of them can't even support them because they get so fear-filled by how weird our lives look compared to theirs, right? That's fine. Our journey in this world is to discover our gift. It's the purpose of this life, is to discover our gift. But today I want to unpack the second half of the quote, which is the meaning of life is to give your gift away. And I think so often we think, no, I want to keep it for myself. I mean, that's the thing that's going to, it makes me who I am. It helps me to understand myself and my environment around. It gives me so much joy. Why would I give it away? Because especially if we're artists, we are here to be light bringers for this world. In every single thing that we do, we bring some semblance of light, some semblance of understanding, of joy, of quality of life, right? And so we give our gifts away. Whether that's a painting that we put out into the universe and say, here it is, or a photograph, or a sculpture, or a meal that we've created, or a play that we've written, or a play that we've directed, a dance that we've choreographed or danced in, music that we've created, written, become the lyricist for, whatever it is. Our job is not to hoard it to ourselves, but the meaning of life, the actual depth of life, is to give it away, is to say, here it is. I made this for you so that you too can have joy. You too can see the world through my eyes and understand it maybe in a different way than you ever thought possible before. So that others can know that survival mode is not what we're here for. There's something more for each and every one of us. And as we discover our gift and we purpose forward in giving those gifts away, we can help other people begin their journey of discovery and their journey towards meaning and more than. Meet joy, wonder, creativity, fulfillment, contentment. You know, I used to think I would never be content. I was not a contented human being. There was always something more that I needed to do, to learn, to see, to be, to whatever. I was always like looking for the next thing. But now here I am. And it's not that the next thing doesn't keep coming, because it does. Change is a natural part of the rhythm of my life. And I've just learned how to sort of embrace that thing called change and say, okay, it is what it is. It's okay. It's not as scary as I thought it was back in my 20s, even in my 30s. It's something that just is a part of my almost daily experience. And so there's even joy in the journey of change. You know, I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday, and we were talking through some things. And I realized how much joy I was filled with because she was taking the company that we had started together, and I handed over and said, here it is, it's yours now. And she's taking it into a glorious new place. And I am thrilled for her and the people in that company because I know it's right. I wouldn't want to hold her back for anything. She is discovering and uncovering her gifts, and in so doing, she is prospering and purposing forward, if that's a thing. And she is going to give those gifts away. And that's amazing. And that breathes life into the next generation and the next generation. And that's the whole thing about giving it away, giving our knowledge away, holding things loosely in this world. I watch all of these people in power, and it seems like the more money you have, the crazier you become in this world. Just saying. But I watch all of these people in power needing to control every little thing, wanting more, needing more, saying, this is mine, mine, mine. But never once do they loosen their grip. They want to keep everything under their power and control. This is not that. This is the opposite of that. This is saying, this is what I have been gifted with. Here. Isn't it wonderful? And sharing it with other people. Oh, I think artists are so good at this thing, giving it away. I think we love to collaborate. Even those of us who are in a more sort of introverted part of or side of the arts industry, right? If you're a writer, if you're a painter, these are things that are more or less a sole proprietorship. And yet, there always comes a time when you must share your work. What good is a painting if it sits on the floor in the middle of a closet? What light does it bring into the world? Whose life does it affect? The rats, perhaps in your closet, or the mice? But no one else, not even you, if it's in your closet, are partaking in the light and the joy and the wonder that that painting was meant for. If you write a book, but you never choose to publish it or share it with other people, what is the point of that book? It's just a bunch of words on a page that nobody is getting affected by. So it's not even the solo activities aren't meant to be held back from society. They're meant to be shared, given away. And I don't necessarily mean given away for free. I just mean given out into the world and letting other people appreciate, enjoy, and partake in. Right? It's such a good thing to do with and for each other, is to share our gifts, our talents and abilities with and for each other. We need more light in this world. We need more joy in this world. We need more wonder in this world. We need more time to just look at a painting and say, wow, that's incredible. Listening to a piece of music, watching a show, a dance concert, traveling, seeing creation itself unfold as you drive by it or walk through it. We need these things. As human beings, we're created to seek and require beauty. I truly believe that. It's like it's hardwired in our system. We need it. And so it is our job and the meaning of our life as artists to give our gifts away. One of the things we can't do when we're in the process of discovering and then going after life's true meaning, which is giving our gift away, is give in to fear. And trust me, there is a whole lot of fear mongering that goes around this idea of sharing your work with the world. Even if your world is really small, even if it's just a little gallery down the street from your house and you know everybody who goes there, it is still frightening to step out in faith, believing that people will like your work. I get it. I totally get it. But we have to be stronger than that. We have to stand up for what we know is right and good in this world. And that one of those things is to share our work, our passion, our gift with the world. And so no matter who says, "Oh, maybe you should think about that a little bit," or, "Oh, maybe this isn't the right time." Look, sometimes we do have to take a step back and think about timing and release dates and all of those things. Have we done enough good work on this project? Is it ready for the general public? However, I'm not talking about that kind of fear. I'm not talking about that kind of conversation. That's not a fear-driven conversation. That's more of a work and logic-driven conversation. Those are great to have. I'm talking about the actual fear of sharing yourself and your work with other people. That fear of not being good enough. That fear of being laughed at or not taken seriously. That fear of lack or being an imposter. How many times have I heard artists who are incredible, by the way, say, "Oh, I don't know how to draw," or "I'm not a real artist. I just doodle." And then you look at their doodles and you go, "Oh my gosh, I'd buy that. That's beautiful." We so often sell ourselves and our abilities, our gift, short. We think it's not good enough. We have to push back against that fear that is both inside of us and also given to us by other people. Those people who say, "But what if, but what if, but what if?" I don't know that they're actually your support system if all they do is undermine your sense of self and the understanding of your gift, right? Doesn't mean you kick them to the curb, but it does mean you put them in the proper place in your life. And when you want to launch something, maybe they're not the voice you need to listen to. Um, I mean, I had a whole bunch of people in my life who they were not those people. When I was about to launch into something new, they were not the people I talked to about it because I knew anything new scared the pants off of them. I was sitting with a friend on Monday afternoon. We were having a late lunch together, early dinner, if you will. And she called me courageous. And I just looked at her like, "What?" Because I couldn't understand. I mean, she's a powerhouse of a woman that I was sitting with. And I couldn't understand how me making a simple choice, which I considered a simple choice, to carry on in a new way, to change my direction, that was just sort of what life and God and everything had for me. And so I just followed my path and kept going on my life's journey. I didn't actually think about it in sort of any like that it took any sense of courage. And in fact, a lot of times I chide myself about the choices I make. I'm like, "Boy, are you being a scaredy cat here? What are you doing?" But I'm not. I know better. I know that that's just bad self-talk. So I adjust my mentality all the time. But it is shocking still to me to hear somebody who sees me from the outside and sees my life from the outside and call me courageous. I'm just me, you know? It's also like when I see people sort of go, oof, when they see me coming or they see the look on my face. Grown men can be afraid of me, and that makes me laugh because I'm just me. I don't particularly find myself very scary on a general basis. I know I can be a force of nature. And so I'm aware of that. But I think it's funny, not funny, haha, but funny, interesting, that people find that part of myself scary, right? Because I'm just me. And I'm pretty sure we all function that way, right? We see ourselves very differently than the people on the outside looking in do. So it's always good to get with real quality people who see you for who you are and encourage you in that cause and in that direction. To hear from them about what it is they see, because it's greatly encouraging. We will always hear the detractors. They're always around. They're never going away. People who don't believe in us, don't believe in our causes, don't believe in what we're doing. That's there. It's more of a them problem than a me problem. And I think that that's where we have to get to as people, is to understand the voices we're allowing in the room and pushing back against not only our fear, but their fear. Because what their fear is based on is a lack of understanding of how we want to live our lives and why we're living our lives this way. Because they want to live their life a certain way. You do you, boo. That's not up to me. Your life and how you live it is not up to my choices. But neither is your life a dictator of how I live mine. So I have to push back and I have to carry on, even if you don't believe in my choices. All right. I think that's all I have for today. Pretty sure. All right. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again next Monday. All right. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching our video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, subscribe. What are you waiting for? All right. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye.